Yeah?
I forgot to tell Michael that one of the traditions is that he will have to kill a goat.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to go through with it. Can I kill a goat?
Listen, you know, Marcy has a tendency of forgetting things. How do you forget to tell someone that, hey, by the way, when you get here, you're going to have to take an animal's life? That is not something that anybody, and I mean anybody, forgets to say. And I don't care how normalized it is in your country, in your culture, or whatnot. That is something that you don't forget to tell anyone, because taking a living thing's life is something that you just don't let slip the freaking tongue. But anyway, we'll continue with Marcy pretending that she forgot.
Choose one of these goats to kill, but they're all looking at me with sad eyes. How am I supposed to choose one?
That one from that one.
That one?
I want you just to process that his son is here too. So he's in a situation where he's taking his family to Kenya to marry Marcy, but then he finds that he has to take a life of a freaking goat, and then his son is there, and his son is even there helping him pick out which one to take out. How is this good parenting? Like, listen, you know what? Let me humble it real quick there for a hot second.
That's fine.
Yes.
I can't imagine killing a goat and being all right with it after, but it's tradition, and it's a tradition that I've done for hundreds of years.
I could not care less. I could not care less about it being a tradition, and I could care less about how long they've been doing it for. The matter of fact is, there's no way I'm gonna take an animal's life just so I can marry someone. That is absurd. That is absolutely ridiculous. So to be honest with you, the fact that Michael was even in the mindset of thinking about it is beyond me. But like I said before, the fact that his son is there to watch it and see it all is absolutely freaking grotesque. Like, come on.
So at the end of the day, I've just got to suck it up and do it.
Get me to...
Yeah. What do we do? I'm freaking out a bit now. I've never killed anything before.
Why do some people in life act as if they don't have a choice? I've got to suck it up and do it. What do you mean you've got to? No one tells you that you got to do anything. You can easily just say, no, I'm not doing this, I'm going. That's it.
Just
All I'm going to say at this moment in time is TMI. But luckily for every single one of us, we don't actually...
It's dead. It's dead.
Well, luckily, like I said before, we don't actually have to see it. But despite the fact that we don't obviously see it, it is still disturbing, unsettling, and honestly, I'm so surprised TLC showed this. But then again, at the same time, I guess it is a learning moment to learn that if you do want to marry someone from Kenya, depending, I guess, on maybe their tribe and where she's from and how the family works, you may have to take a life. I want to know, would anyone take a life to marry someone? That's what I want to know. I mean, unless you're obviously a butcher and that's your line of work anyway, I guess for you, you'd be like, easiest 1, 2, 3, right? But if you're someone that doesn't, would you? If you're someone that's got a pet, you got a pet dog, cat, whatever, hamster, whatever. You take a ghost life to marry someone. The annoying thing about it is I can't even tie to it as like a red flag because it's a cultural thing, right? But if I don't come from a culture where we kill animals, then why in the hell am I going to enter a culture where it's okay to do that? Make that make sense. And you know what? To be honest with you, like I said before, despite the fact that I guess it is a learning moment for us to watch, I still wish that it was never shown.
Things you do for love, eh? I'm in a state of shock at the moment. I know I signed up for a traditional wedding, but I hope all this madness is over. What can happen next?
You know what I always say? Love is the weapon of mass distraction. Seeing this right here is evident of love being the weapon of mass destruction. Usually I use that in the context of a relationship being toxic. But the crazy thing about it, in this one, I can't even use it as a context of the relationship being toxic. I'm using it in the context of the fact that this man had to take an animal's life. And that's not what that's not the culture he lives by. That's not how he was raised, I can imagine. But to be honest with you, I have to go back to the main point. The main point is that I'm more disgusted that his son was there for the whole thing. I don't know if his son was there to watch it, but the fact that his son was there to pick one out or that kind of. The fact that someone's even involved in the conversation is beyond madness. I kind of feel like, to be honest, I do feel like as if maybe it has 100%. When they decided to do this, they should have said, listen, let's take the kid over there somewhere, or ask him, do you want your son to know about da-da-da-da? He could have easily covered this from his son knowing about it, at least at this moment in time. Him finding out at some point would have probably been inevitable, but right now, you got me bugging.
The discussion is where my parents and the elders check if everything that Mike was asked to give is there. If anything is missing, they can actually call the wedding off.
I'm sorry. My man just legit took a ghost's life. You're telling me now we got to get a meeting about the dowry, and if anything is missing, the wedding can just be called off? And do you know what the crazy part about it? The whole purpose of him actually taking the ghost life is because, you see, once he takes a ghost life, then that means that Marcy is pretty much dedicated to him, and she can never ever leave him for another man. She can never step out on him with another man, which is quite interesting. But she does kind of did that later on in the video, because she says that when she gets to the UK, if she doesn't like the UK, well, then she'll come back to Kenya. It doesn't mean they'll get a divorce, but it's a bit contradictory. You know what I mean? But either way, the whole point is it's a symbol for their marriage, that she is now his, and she cannot obviously be in contact with another man, all that kind of stuff. But like I said before, at the end of the day, the fact that this was something that was exploited around a child is beyond disgusting. It's beyond wrong. The fact that he even agreed to do this is absolutely wrong, because that's not how his culture is. He didn't have to do none of that stuff. And to add injury to insult, the fact that Marcy sits there and says, listen, if they don't like certain things, if something is missing, then we can't get married. Ain't no marriage worth this amount of effort. I can tell you that now 100%. With that being said, let me know what you're thinking down below. We'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, sub, and of course,